There are very few aircraft that I would say are total master of destruction platforms, but I think it's pretty safe to say that the French F4U-7 might fall into that category. This aircraft is an ICE-BR of 6.7, has access to some pretty crazy weaponry for a plane at that BR, and if you guys aren't already familiar with the Corsair, you know it's quite a workhorse. So what makes the French F4U, which is the F4U-7, so special is its suspended arsenal. So this is a pretty upgraded Corsair. It's a late war model. This was one that was upgraded, I believe, from the F4U-4B, which is found in the American tech tree and is a quite decent platform. This one has access to some decent weaponry like the SNEB Type 23 rockets, which are normally only found on mid to top tier platforms, not at 6.7. You also have access to 1,000-pound bombs, 500-pound bombs, 250-pound bombs, and HFAR rockets. So this aircraft is pretty well suited for whatever it needs to do. And it can also do air-to-air very well. 420mm cannons lets you do anything you need to do. It lets you do anything. Air-to-air, air-to-ground. If you need to perform mixed roles, you can do that. Now, the downsides to the aircraft are pretty obvious. One, such a heavy load as 3,000-pound bombs and a full set of Type 93 rockets does make you very sluggish. So if you find yourself in a spot where you're going up against teams that have a bunch of aircraft in the air, I would strongly suggest just jettisoning the bombs or just running the rockets only. I also would very much suggest running the rockets and practicing with them because they are so much worth it, and they're so much lighter. As your other option is to run the 500-pound or 250-pound bombs on the wings, and when you drop those, you are going to get lopsided heavy, which can be a big issue with the Corsair because of the inverted gull wing. Other than that, it performs pretty decent. Anyways, I do think the platform itself is fine. Obviously, you are the same power horse engine using Pratt & Whitney 2800 Double Wasp. That's the same engine found on the F4U-1A, the F4U-4B, all of the Corsairs have the same engine. They did have upgrades over the years, but realistically, you are a 6.7 platform that does technically have an engine that is found in a 2.7 aircraft. So you just have to keep that in mind that you aren't the best engine in this BR range. Also, you are running into jets and some decent SAM systems, or not SAM systems, but decent SPAA systems, decent gun systems like the Zestor and some of the other ones that are just somewhat annoying to fight, and that's where the SNEB rockets come in really, really handily. And it's not that the Corsair itself has a bad engine. It has, as far as real-life standards, it had probably the best World War II engine outfitted on a prop plane. I'm just saying to keep in mind that you are not the fastest plane in this BR, because you have to keep that in mind because the Corsair is the fastest plane in the BR on all of the other platforms, especially the F4U-1C and the 1B and all of the lower tier American ones. Now, the biggest downside, I would say, outside of the fact that you have the sluggish engine when you're heavy, and you have poor flight controls when you have all the heavyweight, which is characteristic to every single platform, would honestly be the fact that you can't, would be the fact that you have issues climbing. And the Corsair, again, is one of the best platforms in the game, in my opinion. It's amazing. It's hard for me to talk badly about my aircraft, but it can be really sluggish to climb once you get down on the deck. And again, this is noticeable with every propeller platform in the game, so it isn't just a Corsair issue. It's just a reminder that when you get down and dirty with the SNEB rockets and you get down with the bombs, and always make sure you have a bomb fuse, especially with this aircraft with 1,000-pounders, it can just be really hard to get up to actually start dogfighting aircraft. But other than that, nothing's wrong with the platform. You have good maneuverability. You're obviously not going to go and destroy like a zero, but you can hold your own to pretty much anything in the game. And you have good enough rockets and good enough bombs that you can deal enough damage to an enemy team to completely turn the tide of a battle. In fact, a well-played F4U-7 can completely turn the tide of a battle, and I've actually had games that were won because an F4U-7 played his part perfectly. So just keeping that in mind, keeping that in mind that you are a heavier aircraft, you have a heavier weapon payload, so you're going to be a lot more sluggish, especially if you're playing down on the deck. Now, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments on the F4U7. Do you guys think this platform is amazing and a true master of destruction like I've claimed it to be? Or do you guys think it's just a higher BR Corsair? I want to know what your thoughts are. I do hope some of you guys have liked this aircraft. If you're wondering, it is in the French tech tree. It's the late model export that the French used at the tail end of World War II. And I think it's a quite enjoyable platform to play at. If you guys don't have the French air tree grinded, it's worth grinding for it. You can run it alongside things like the A1H, and the French tree has a lot of very fun 6.7, 6.3, 7.3 vehicles to play. And you could run this thing in an 8.0 lineup and perform just fine. Really, the only issue you're going to run into is better and better SPAA systems, but you do have, you know, modern-ish rockets, being the Sneb Type 23s. Yeah, anyways, like I said, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the F4U-7, and join the Discord that's linked down below in the description. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.